you that that's why we call some of these things a vision. When I took over in 2009, I had 5 areas to look at to reform City Hall. So we call that package the institutional reforms of City Hall. So one of them was a comprehensive review of human resource. And as my good sister said, Mumbi, I can tell you in local government, nobody wanted to touch that area because they are all beneficiaries through these ghost workers, employing people who are not even employable. Like our good friend who's being sent to Goma as a consul general. I'm not saying there's no space for such a person. There is definitely space for such a person. So the question is that does that person fit the job that he has been given? So we carried out that exercise, and I can tell you the things that we found other than a mismatch in numbers. We even found people with fake, these fake certificates. This started yesterday. We actually found, like, there's a case I remember of this guy who, over the years, he had been given a job. He was even promoted with a degree from Nairobi University. Nairobi University. That university does not exist. The only one that exists that we know is the University of Nairobi. Yeah. But nobody bothered to check. So it means that, this was a gravy train for so many people. But we did what we did. I even went further because I was only there for 36 months. Sometimes people tell me that you're there for too long. No, 36 months, and we're able to do what we did. We even went further and said, okay, fine. The staff complement, as found out by Pricewaterhouse, and I didn't just go for any audit firm. I went for top notch, and I paid top dollar for that job to be done because I wanted a clean job. So other than a mismatch in numbers, that they said we were about 12,500, just about 13,000. We said the right complement was about 7,000. So it means that we had an excess of almost 6,000-7,000 people. Okay, so what I did, because the intention was not just to find out where the problem was. The intention was to sort out the problem. So by the time I was leaving office, I was actually now negotiating with World Bank to give us a grant, not a loan, because to send off people back to the community better than you found them.
Ghost workers. We're talking about ghost workers.
No, you see, they were there. Mm-hmm. These are people who are there who have been working. I'm not talking about ghost workers. Ghost workers, the number is not very correct. I think there are about 1,000 who didn't exist. But I'm talking about people who are there but were doing nothing. Mm-hmm. There was no job for them. So they were there reporting, but there was no work. There was no productivity. So, of course, ghost workers, we immediately removed them from the payroll. We didn't need anybody's permission. I can tell you, I removed them immediately. That was done.
Because some other governments have said it's not really that easy to get rid of these ghost workers.
How? I did it. 14 years ago, I did it. I removed them. I didn't need anybody's permission. I removed them because I was not a beneficiary. And, these people who say you can't remove them, these are beneficiaries. They have gone there and they have seen the money that they can make. You can make that decision and get rid of these people. So we did that one, but you can imagine 14 years later, the ghost workers are back. Like my brother said, they don't die. They are back, and they're even in bigger numbers. Nobody is sorting out the problem. If the person who took over after me, and that was Evans Kidero, if he had consulted me and said, this is the match I've done, I'm now in the process of negotiating with the World Bank to get us money to send back these people to community. Better than
when Akira says that golden handshake way is not probably the best way to do
it is how it is done. Because sometimes you don't just give money, somebody money who has been working, who has not done business. You prepare that person. So preparation is part of the process. But let me say this. That is not important because it happened 14 years ago. It looks like people don't learn from past experiences. I would say that this conference we're having this week on the wage bill, for me, okay, it's okay. We can have conferences because people are going to make some money, which is fine. But what I'm expecting from this conference, they are saying that the wage bill is high. In my view, yes or no? Maybe yes, maybe not, because it's a percentage of the revenue collected. So if you're saying the percentage is high, most probably the collections are poor. So the question should be how, because there's a correlation between the percentage and revenue collection. Mm-hmm. So what they should be talking about is how can we improve our revenue collection so that the percentage to wage bill comes down. That's number one. Number two, this budget making process, that was even improved by my president, Emeritus Mwai Kibaki, my president. He'd come up, we had really done a very beautiful budgeting making process that was participatory, and the president gave people in Treasury space to work. I think that this meeting they're having, wherever they're having the meeting, they should start by reviewing the budget. For example, how can you have, one office of the president that does not produce? It doesn't produce anything. It's about running up and down, going to Sugoi, going these places. It doesn't produce. Consuming 9% of budget. Those are the hard questions that this committee should be asking themselves. Somebody should look at President William Ruto, my good friend, in the eye and say, Mr. President, please have some good manners. Direct your people immediately to review a budget to maybe 5% of total budget. The other thing that can be done immediately, and it doesn't need a conference. I saw the other day the First Lady, who is spending money that shouldn't be spent, should be home taking care of the family. She had been allocated 450 million. She has asked for an adjustment to 594. The Second Lady is even worse. She's Second Lady. She had been given a budget of 293 million shillings. She's asking for, in the revised budget, 718 million shillings. Then the other day, in fact, I was having a conversation with somebody from this political party, UDA, and I said, the previous administration